Hi there, my name is Mario Escobedo. Thanks for checking out Equipped. This is a YouTube channel dedicated to adding value to your spiritual growth through personal Bible study. This video is an introductory video to a study that we're doing, a passage by passage study that we're doing on the prophet Joel. And so I want to give just a very brief overview to the prophet Joel before we jump into the passage by passage study. So the first thing you should know is that the prophet Joel belongs in a part of the Old Testament known as the minor prophets. There are 12 minor prophets in the Old Testament. They start from Hosea, they go all the way to Malachi. Those are the 12 minor prophets of the Old Testament. In the Hebrew Bible, they're not known as the minor prophets, they're known as the Book of the 12. And instead of being considered 12 individual books, they're really considered, you could look at them as one book divided up into 12 major chapters. Each prophet makes up one of the chapters. And the reason they're called minor prophets is because we have major prophets as well, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. The only difference between major and minor, it's not that the major are more important than the minor, it's just a matter of length. The major prophets are a lot longer than the individual minor prophets. So for example, the book of Isaiah is 66 chapters long, very long book, whereas the book of Joel is only 3 chapters long. That's the only difference of why we make that distinction between major and minor prophets. Now there's some things about Joel that we don't completely know. For example, we don't know exactly when he was ministering, when he was prophesying. Other prophets like Hosea, the book right before Joel, Amos, the book right after Joel, they tell us when they're ministering. They give us names of the kings that were reigning at the time that they were ministering, which helps us identify when it was that they were ministering. Joel doesn't give us that kind of information, so we don't know exactly when it was that Joel was prophesying and ministering. The other thing is that other prophets also tell us where they were ministering, whether they were in the northern kingdom of Israel or the southern kingdom of Judah. Joel doesn't do that either. He doesn't give us any geographic location where he is ministering. More than likely, he was ministering in the southern kingdom of Judah because he mentions the temple of the Lord, which was in Jerusalem, which was in the southern kingdom of Judah. But we can't be 100% certain about that. I'm not too concerned about that for a third reason that Joel, information that Joel doesn't give us. Other prophets, I'm going to use Hosea and Amos as examples because they're the books that are right before and right after the book of Joel. Hosea gives us a very specific reason as to why it is that the Lord was going to punish the people of Israel, the northern kingdom of Israel. It's because the people were engaged in idolatry. They were really bad about that. That's the big sin that Hosea points out in his book of prophecy. And he says that because of their idolatry, the nation of Israel would be punished by the Lord. The book after Joel, which is Amos, now Amos says something completely different. Amos says that one of the reasons that the Lord was going to punish the northern kingdom of Israel was because of social injustice. And that meant that the rich were treating the poor very badly. They were taking advantage of them. And Amos cites that as the reason for why, or one of the reasons at least, that the Lord was going to punish the northern kingdom of Israel. So both prophets and many of the other prophets, they're very specific in telling us exactly what it is that the people of God did that caused the Lord to respond in punishment. Joel doesn't tell us that. Joel doesn't give us a specific reason as to why it is that the Lord was going to punish the people of God. Again, more than likely the southern kingdom of Judah. Joel never specifies a specific sin, a specific action, whether it's idolatry or social injustice or something else. Joel never gives us specifics as to why it is that the Lord was going to punish the people of Israel. But that doesn't bother me a whole lot because what happens then is that Joel, his message really becomes pretty timeless. You can take the message of the book of Joel and you can drop it just about in any period of Israel's history and it works because there's a warning to the people of Israel to repent of their sin, to come back to the Lord, to return to the Lord. That's big in the book of Joel. There's a warning and a call to the people to return to the Lord, repent from their sin, repent sincerely from the bottom of their hearts so that the Lord won't send punishment. You can put that message just about anywhere in the timeline of Israel's history. So for that reason, and because Joel, he just doesn't give a specific historical information as to when he ministered, I don't take a whole lot of time to want to figure out when is it exactly that he ministered, because his message, really, it's pretty timeless within that timeline of Israel's history. And beyond that, his message is also timeless for us. I mean, it works for us now today. his message, even though it was delivered originally centuries ago, removed from our time, it's still relevant to us today. Return to the Lord, repent from your sin, or else the Lord may respond in a way that's negative and that you're not going to be too happy about. So Joel's message, even though we don't know exactly when he ministered or where he ministered, it's still a very relevant message to any period of Israel's history, but also to our time today. So we're going to do in this series of videos, teachings on the prophet Joel, is that I'm not doing a verse by verse study. I'm doing a passage by passage study, and that'll make sense as you jump into the videos and figure them out. We're going to look at what the passages mean in their original historical context, but then we're going to bridge the gap and we're going to see, well, what do they mean for us right now, here, and today? How can we apply the message of the individual passages of the book of Joel to our lives today so that we can add value to our spiritual growth through this Bible study? So thanks for tuning in. Keep watching. Look for the different videos on the book of Joel and be blessed. God bless you.